Hello, I am back and I'm better always. How are you feeling? How are you doing? Great, because we about to get straight into it. First things first, I want to acknowledge this lovely red couch that I'm sitting on. I feel like it's only right that it had a feature because I'm currently back home visiting my family for the holidays. This is at my grandmother's house, the house that I grew up in. This couch has been in this house, in this same place, I'm pretty sure, as far as I can remember. But regardless, it's been here all my life. So this is a very like nostalgic type moment for me, and I just felt it was only right that I put it, like it deserved a feature. It deserves so much more. I can't wait for the opportunity to put it in my house. You know what I'm saying? So I had to pay homage to the couch, to the red couch, the vintage couch. It's crazy to me that it's crazy how the universe moves. It's crazy how life works, because we as humans take a lot of things personal, and it's crazy that unconsciously we take life personal. Like, things happen to us and it's like, why would that happen to us? Or we're letting it take over our whole existence, when in real life, universe, God, the higher power, whoever it is you may believe in or serve, everything is happening for us, not to us. You know what I'm saying? So I see that, well, that's one thing that has become real present to me this year. I mean, obviously I think it's been something that I kind of knew, but I've been more on a spiritual journey this year. So what I thought I knew, or what I had some type of maybe idea about but never really acknowledged or recognized, it has definitely been eye-opening and more of an awakening for me, you know? So yeah, I just wanted to start off with acknowledging that part, because it all shows up, especially when we make an intentional decision to like work on something, like work on ourselves, doing things that will allow us to be healthier human beings, better human beings, whatever the case may be. Like, whenever we set that intention and actually say it out loud, like, oh, I want to work on this, or oh, I see where I can use some additional work or healing or growth in that area of my life, so I'm going to do this to try to be better, or to try to be more whole. Like, soon as you say that, or as soon as that thought even enters into your space, the universe wakes up. Like, the universe hears you, like, they want to do what? Oh, so they said they want to do this. Well, let me go ahead and put this in their path, to see if they really mean what they say. If they're really about what they be talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, so for me, I know one thing I absolutely positively struggle with is discipline. I mean, I know a lot of that is human nature. Like, a lot of us, self-discipline is not really but I will make an excuse for anything. And now it's like balancing whether or not you don't feel like it. I'm learning to balance like the not feeling like it and not feeling like it and still doing something. Like, that's because I will feed into, oh, I don't feel like it, and then don't do a damn thing. So that is one thing I'm working on, and since the universe knows I'm working on it, right? It shows up in weird ways. Like, the universe really be playing with me, and I know it. I don't know. Like, it really just be Joseph. So this past 2 weeks, like, I'm home. I've traveled back home, and the day that I was traveling back home, something happened to my front camera on my phone, right? So immediately I'm like panic mode. I'm like, how am I gonna record? Like, I had all these plans. Like, now I can't record. Now I gotta wait till next year. Now it's like made up the shit that I said in my last video about not waiting so long to post anything. Like, it's a whole like whirlwind of emotions and thoughts. Like, how could you, like, why would this happen, you know? But, you know, obviously there are other ways to record. And also just bringing it down a notch and allowing me to really think. Like, I have another phone, my old phone, which is what I'm recording on, because something still is wrong with my camera. But it's like that, like, just dumb shit. Like, why would that happen? You know, like, why would something happen to the my front camera? Like, that's random and dumb in my opinion. But stuff like that, because I would have made the excuse like, oh, it's not, I'm not recording it. This is gonna be real. This is gonna be a real vacation. I don't really have to do nothing. I don't have to plan no content. I don't have to plan the setup. You know, I don't have to do none of that because front camera gone. That would have been me like this time last year. Like, they would have been me. I would have been like, all right, well. On top of that, within these last few days since I've been in the lovely state of Louisiana and the weather has switched from being warm and hot to being freezing cold, back to being a little bit warmer, and then going to continue to get back warm, right? Welcome home. I have started feeling not my best. Like, I have a little cold situation happening. I have an ugly, nasty, unnecessary cough that's very childish. And ultimately, I would have been like, was like, all right, I'm not recording. I'm not recording sounding like this. Like, I'm not about to get, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so little stuff like that. Like, the universe really be playing with me. That's the point of this part. But the universe plays with all of us in our own way. Like, I feel like it just shows up in weird ways, and sometimes we don't. Like, I mean, it depends on your perspective or your mindset towards certain things, but some of us know, like, I see what you're doing there. I see what you're doing there, you know, whoever. I see what you're doing there, so I'm gonna follow suit, or unconsciously, I'm gonna revert back to what I know, or I'm gonna revert back to the person I am because I don't have time. Like, I don't like tests. If you're a person that don't like tests, then you don't like life. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't like the things that throw at you. And that's part of the reason I feel like people will revert to taking things personal or taking hardships harder than, I'm not gonna say they have to be, because that's a stretch, and that, who am I to say that? But if you want things to happen, life gotta happen. If you want shit to change, shit gotta change, you know? So here we are. I'm tempted to say, like, going into this new year, but it's not even really about going into this new year for me. Like, yeah, it's a new year, and, you know, new year, new me, or new year, new habits, new year, new mindset, whatever we are taught to think of the new year as. It's not so much about the new year. Like, I'm not about to sit here and lecture you about the new year. It's just a new becoming, a new you, a new evolving, a new growth, a new development, a new whatever, whenever you decide to let it happen. Now, you don't necessarily have to be in preparation for the new year, but whenever you decide to allow it to happen, I challenge you to be still. And I know that is something that, you know, we hear, but I think allowing yourself to be present in stillness is a thing that a lot of us don't really allow ourselves to experience, because we're always on the move, gotta do this, gotta do that, worrying about the next thing, worrying about the next day, worrying about next month, worrying about next year and what next year gonna look like. You know, we're always thinking about something. We're always, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're always in go mode, even if we're not necessarily moving. Like, our mind is moving. Our mind is allowing us to still be on the go, even when we're sitting watching TV, or sitting eating our food, or sitting on social media, you know. But learn to be still. Learn to be still with yourself. Learn to be still in a quiet manner that allows you to really, really feel what's surrounding your space, if that makes sense. Like, since we're always on the go, we always feel like life is attacking us, you know, especially if we have, like, if it's in that stage of life, stage of a chapter where a lot of stuff is happening, you have to take on a lot of stuff. Like, when you're in those spaces, and you're continuously moving on the go, not allowing yourself to sit and really be present, it's not going to get any better. But when you allow yourself to sit, be still, hear the quietness and quiet, well, hear and quiet out the noise of everything that is happening in your space, it allows you to really take a deep breath and see what's there for you. And seeing what's there for you, like what's really there for you, allows you to be able to navigate those spaces differently, navigate those hard times differently, because sometimes we get so overwhelmed then we make irrational decisions, or we can't even think straight, or we can't even think how we need to think or problem solve, how we can better whatever situation is happening in our lives, because there's just so much shit. It's just so much shit, and we don't even allow ourselves to like rest in that. And I know resting in hardship sounds like, why would I do that? Like, why am I not trying to fix it? But it's like, sometimes it's not your thing to fix. I think we have more control over life than we think we do. But life, like I said in the beginning, life is not happening against you. It's happening for you. So you don't have control over the fact that this happened. All you can do is try your best to learn from it or heal from it. You know, like there's not much else you can do. Like, it happened, or it's happening. So now you have to figure out what's the best move, or what's the best way to, I can't even say not to let it happen again, but to let this particular chapter or this particular moment in your chapter shift your life into another chapter, or shift your life into a new way of being. So you won't even have to feel what you're feeling right now in this new chapter. Like, you know, shit happens. Shit does happen, you know? So then we got to figure out what to do when that shit happens. And like I said, a lot of us don't figure that out. It's just we're so caught up in what's happening, the fact that it is happening, that we don't see or how we just don't give ourselves a chance. Because just like I said that the universe likes to play with us, so the universe will keep playing with you until you learn your lesson. So that's another part of like why life happens the way it does, and why, well, let me not, because who am I? You know what I'm saying? But I'm just giving my perspective, my mindset, the things that I think about. I feel like life happens sometimes the way that it happens, especially when the same things keep coming up, when the same trials, the same hardships, the same challenges, the same struggle keeps entering in our space, because you ain't like a lesson the last time. You ain't say what you ain't do what you said you was gonna do the last time. So here we are again to see if you gonna do, or you gonna move the same way, or you gonna actually try to fix it or fix yourself, or you gonna actually try to like see where you're wrong in this situation. You know, we make the I'm getting into it. Like, we make the comments like we attract the same people, but it's like you're blaming the other person for attracting, like you're blaming other people for I don't know who you're blaming in that situation, but ultimately it's you're attracting these same people, because that's still the mindset, that's still the state of life that you're in. So it's like, how can you attract better, attract different, when you have not done any work on yourself to even like be able to handle different or be present with different? You know, like, you want a new job, you want to change careers, you want to go back to school, you want a promotion, but it's like, how you're not going to be able to really do that, or you're really not going to be able to do it or be fulfilled how you want to be fulfilled in it, if you're not in the state where you're actually prepared for it or ready for it, you know? So it's like, we can sit here and blame life or blame everybody else for whatever has happened to us all we want to, but at the end of the day, it's really about what's happening within us, and what's happening within us, and whatever's happening, because whatever's happened within us ultimately like shows up how things are happening externally too. So yeah. And I personally like to believe that being still is something that will assist you with seeing that for yourself. Because yeah, I can sit here and tell you that, like, you know, I can sit here and tell you a whole lot of things, but until you see it for yourself, until you see it within yourself, until you see how certain things align with how things are happening in your life for yourself, then you just gonna sit here and listen to this over and over. You're gonna sit here and listen to the next person tell you the same thing. But you gotta find that for yourself. And when you allow yourself to be still, when you allow yourself to be still, when you allow yourself to be present, when you allow yourself to listen, when you allow yourself to observe, when you allow yourself to hear what's being told to you, and what are you, not even what's being told to you, what are you saying? The things that you're saying, the things that you're thinking, the things that you are feeling, you know what I'm saying? Like, when you allow those things to happen in stillness, that's ultimately the first step of you allowing yourself to even consider making a different move, a different way, or changing the way you show up at work, or changing the way you show up in your relationship, etc. Just changing the way that you show up in the world in general. But it starts with you. It starts with you being quiet with yourself. It starts with you being alone with yourself. It starts with you allowing yourself to hear yourself. It starts with you allowing yourself to really have a real conversation with yourself and get to know yourself a little different. And ultimately, all of that can really, for real, only happen if you allow yourself to sit still. All right, friends, it's been real as always. I hope whatever was said today was received the way it needed to be received. I hope the person who needed to hear it heard it in the time, or I believe that the person who needs to hear this hears it in the time that is most beneficial for them. So yeah, I promise to see you next time, and I promise to continue to work on myself so I can see you next time, and I don't fall into my old whatevers and just let this fall by the wayside. You feel me? Me doing this is holding myself accountable, but I know it's also giving to someone who needs my own shit. So yeah, until then, you continue to love on your growing self like only you can. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share, because it is greatly appreciated. Until next time, friends.